And we're live. Beers and Buffalo podcast, season 7, episode 11. Back at it again, getting ready for week 8 of the NFL and back on track with the Bills, hopefully. We had a week off coming off the bye week here. I think a well-needed bye week to get us back into the groove, hopefully heading into Carolina for the upcoming week.
Yeah, it was an interesting bye week because there was a lot of rumblings if the Bills were to make any changes anywhere coordinator-wise, trade-wise. A lot of fans want a trade somewhere, whether it be cornerback, safety, wide receiver. Coaching-wise, I think the only move we could make is probably defensive coordinator at this point, Bobby Babich. When Sean McDermott was calling the defensive plays, we were a top 5 defense. Now we're a bottom 10 defense.
13 seconds.
Under Bobby. Yeah, that's another reason why he's not calling plays anymore.
I actually heard, not to get too far into it, I also heard that our OCs might be up for the Pitt head coaching job for college.
Oh, college, like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's still there.
No, the Pitt. So I don't know. There could be some changes on all fronts there. But before we get any further on the Bills, we got to talk beer. It was my week. I'm going to throw up on the screen here what I brought today here from 42 North Brewing Company. We've actually did a 42 North, I think, once already this year.
Yeah, and it wasn't good. It was the Kolsch.
This one should be a little bit different here. We got the Fall Bock. It is a Bock, if you can't tell by the name. Kind of a malty type of lager. Let's pour this up. It's a little bit lighter of a beer, too. 5.5% alcohol. I do like the can. I pulled a Jeff. I went with the can design. Nothing crazy, but it's
a good fall
simple.
can. It's a very simple fall can. Kind of reminds me of like a Scarecrow a little bit.
The color looks incredible on this.
Yeah, it does.
It's dark, but it's not like thick dark.
It's not black. Yeah, it's not the thick dark.
Oh boy.
I got all of mine in my pour.
Oh boy.
You got a decent head on yours, but I got all of mine in my pour.
Ooh, I like the way that smells. It's really it's definitely like nutty.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Oh, dude, that's incredible. I like that.
It's good, definitely a good fall beer.
This is what I think
time of year to have a fall beer.
This is what I think of when I think of fall beer. The color's there. Good head on this thing. Easy sipper. It's light too. It looks dark. It's got that Guinness effect where it looks darker than it drinks. But man, this thing is.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
I have a feeling I'll give this a higher score than you. I like this though. This is something different too. We haven't had really anything like that this year, at least.
Yeah, no, this is a newer beer that we've had.
I don't recall us ever doing a Bock, but we've done darker lagers like this. We do a lot of IPAs because we both enjoy our IPAs. We try to get some flavored, some seasonal beers in there. We'll mix in here and there. Just even like regular, we honestly haven't had a domestic in a while. Remember the Bush? Oh yeah, the Bush Peach was I think the last one we've done, or maybe the only one we've done from the domestic side. I want to pull up though because I saw at the store last year's. I saw a pretzel beer and I think we did that, but I can't remember. We did a pretzel beer,
I think.
I wonder if it was before we started keeping track.
It could have been, but I'm definitely sure we did a pretzel beer.
There's the Bush Light one.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Where pretzel beer. Yes, and that's the one.
Yeah.
I did see that there, and I was like, I'm going to grab that. But I was like, dude, that can looks familiar.
Yeah, we probably did it.
We probably did it. I got to start bringing the list with me when I go into Wegmans.
You should.
Which is also, shout out to Wegmans. Switched it up again. Did not go back to consumers. Wegmans has a different variety to pick from, too. They're I feel like I've almost tried everything at consumers at this point, but Wegmans, they have a whole, even not refrigerated, they have a whole import shelf too with a lot of different Belgian style beers over there.
I bet you if you really looked around besides the coolers at consumers, you'd probably find something.
Yeah, I never go in the aisles. That's the other thing.
I've never done that.
But
the
also,
time I go in the aisles is when they're like, do you have this? And they're like, well, let's check the aisles if it's not in the cooler. So it's probably one of those situations.
Also, I went and grabbed this an hour before we started filming here. So if I grab one off the shelf, I don't know if it's going to be cold in time. Even if I threw it in the freezer. Yeah. Last week, I thought it came out of that end cap, which is supposed to be refrigerated, and it was warmer last week. So
that was me. It was
Or 2 weeks ago. Sorry. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. All right. Let's get into some ratings here. I'm going to go ahead. I did like this a lot. Other half, that was a good one last week. You gave it a real high score last week, that risotto, man.
Yeah, that was really good. I could make a lot of those.
I want to give this one, it's pretty close, man. I was thinking about an 8-1. I'm going to actually go down to a 7-9, I think.
I was going to be in the 7s. I was thinking 7-8, 7-7. We'll go 7-8.
7-8 for Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. It's not horrible. It's something I would buy again if I was buying beer. I was like, oh, that's a good beer. I'd buy it again.
It's something that it's not offensive. It's easy to drink if you wanted to switch it up, because this isn't something you're going to reach for all the time. So who knows? 6 months from now, you'd be like, hey, not 6 months. A year from now, you're going to be like, hey, it's fall again. I remember I like this.
Yep, exactly.
And we'll scoop it back up.
Anything above like a 7.5 for me, I'd probably buy again. Anything below that, probably like, meh. If somebody had it, I'd drink it, but it's probably not something I'd just be searching for.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into it. So, like we said, no Bills game this past week. I'm hoping that means we're refreshed and ready to go. I did look at the injury report. I was going to start things off with that. Per Sean McDermott, we have Daquan Jones, Josh Palmer, Taylor Rapp, not at practice today, and today is Wednesdays, folks, if you're listening to this tomorrow on a Thursday. Jones and Palmer are considered week-to-week at this point. Matt Milano, Kincaid, Curtis Samuel, Terrell Bernard, all limited at practice this week. Maxwell Harrison, also limited. And we also get back Larry Ogunjobi, Michael Hoyt, the return from the PED suspensions. It's their first time practicing since the preseason.
So I thought they were able to practice even though they were suspended.
No.
See, I thought they could practice.
They can't practice.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, they can't play, obviously, but you should be allowed to practice or be with the team, go to meetings, work out. I guess like actual practicing, maybe not, but
I was going to look it up because now I feel like I'm saying something incorrectly, but I could have swore I saw a headline that it said that Larry, Michael, and Maxwell all back at practice for the first time this year.
Well, I guess maybe that's preseason. They're allowed to work out and practice and all that.
So that might click. That's clicking a little bit.
I know they played preseason. Hoyt and Ogunjobi.
You're allowed to play. You're allowed to practice during preseason, even if you're suspended. But I'm pretty sure you cannot practice with the team.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
You're suspended, so you really shouldn't be allowed to practice, I guess.
You're suspended from playing. You should be allowed to practice and be able to make sure you're up for.
I think they can do like, obviously they can be around the team and stuff and do like certain training, but you can't be in practice. You can't be in like full practice. They could probably do conditioning to make sure they're in shape and obviously all that other stuff, but you can't run drills with the offense.
I guess you kind of don't want them to be running drills.
How are you going to be running drills?
Because they can't play. Why would you put guys that aren't playing in position to... I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we just talked ourselves into the answer right there. But yeah, and we mentioned this last week. And during the week, I even mentioned it again about Maxwell Harrison. Haven't been able to hear an update from this guy. And all of a sudden, I wake up this morning and get bing bing update from the Buffalo Bills. Guess who's back at practice? So,
which is nice, which is great to see because, like you said, we haven't heard anything. It's like, is this guy actually coming back? So they opened up his 21-day window to practice with the team to make a decision if he's actually going to play this year or not. So he's got 21 days. From what I've been listening to on the radio, Sal Capaccio actually said like he looks fantastic. He looks like he's ready to play, and don't be surprised if he plays within the next 3 games. And that doesn't mean that they're going to elevate him full time to the team. It just means that like they're going to see what he can do in game to see if his injuries are fully healed to make that full decision. So the 21-day window is open. Even if he plays, he could still end up back on the injured reserve for the rest of the year.
Correct. And that's pretty common where teams will open up the window prematurely just to get a feel for the player to make him available because, maybe he isn't going to be ready this week, but the window's open. He got a full practice in eventually this week, and they still don't trust it by, Sunday. Wait another week. You still have time before it closes back up on you. Out of those 3 players that I just said, though, the guys that are back at practice, I still am most worried about Hairston. Just as far as a rookie, it was an injury. The other 2 guys, yes, they haven't been able to practice for 7 weeks here, but being in the league, both those guys are veteran players. And not coming off an injury, I think they'll fare well. I think all three of them would be rusty if they did all three play this week. But I think after a half, they could probably work out the kinks with those DNs and the defensive tackles. It's Hairston I'm really worried about. I'm trying to remain optimistic, but he's somebody that kind of worries me going into this game if he plays.
Well, he worries me because when the injury happened, it got blown out of proportion. It's an ACL. He's done for the year.
Right.
And I was like, oh, MCL. Whoo, it's just a sprain. It's not that severe. And then they were like, well, he's going to come back after the first 4 weeks. And then we heard nothing after the season started.
Yeah.
And that's what worried me the most was like, I think this injury is a little bit more severe than they were leading on to. And they kind of like, well, he's on injured reserve. We really don't have to talk about him. But then when the 4 weeks was up, they still didn't do anything with him. It's like, okay, week 5 came around, nothing. Week 6 came around, nothing. The bye week for week 7 came around, nothing. It's like not until week 8 started officially yesterday that we finally heard something. It's like, oh, he's back at practice. Like, so is he good? Is he not good? From what I've seen, he looks great in practice. So I am very cautious about Maxwell Harrison too, just because at one point there were talks of he might be shut down for the season. Even though it wasn't an ACL, the injury was more severe than they let on to believe before the season started.
Right. Also kind of in the same front here with maybe possibly adding players because of not 100% sure who's going to be healthy, what kind of moves we might have to make to get ourselves back to, like, I don't know, playoff mode, because right now I don't feel like we're in it. I could see the Bills going out. We've talked about this on the offensive front with the receiver. Jacoby Meyer has kind of jumped to that top at this point as far as the number one guy, leading candidate. And then the guy said last week, Calvin Ridley, I think is a realistic target would be number 2. Out of those two guys, I'm going to hopefully lean towards Jacoby Myers, younger receiver, less money we'd have to be responsible for. But also in the defensive end, we could probably go out and possibly pick up a cornerback or a safety, because I think we need help in those as well.
Safety for sure. We're too slow at safety. Back to the wide receiver real quick, though. Yep. Another name that I've seen pop up a lot recently is Chris Olave, because their season's pretty much over. They're 1-5 at this point. And Chris Olave is still under his rookie contract, and you can still pick up the 5th-year option next year. Right. And so he's already under contract for at least the rest of this season and next season, and you don't have to spend a ton of money on him. So it's one of those where it's like, okay, we can go out and trade for a rental wide receiver like we did Amari Cooper last year, or we can go get a wide receiver that is already under contract the rest of this season and next season, and that team could absolutely use some draft picks the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be okay with trading our first round or high second or just a second round pick next year. I don't know what other wide receivers we would even want to trade for him. Maybe with the package, like a second or third round pick and a wide receiver.
Talking about
Olave, just because he's already under contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not one of those rental players where they just trade for a pick. They'd want a player in return.
Well, he's got one more year after this.
The only person that would match that would be Curtis Samuel, but he's injured. So, and I don't think you can trade an injured player.
You could, but I don't think they would accept an injured player either. So,
right.
Yeah, looking at our depth chart, Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, I really don't think we would part ways with Palmer, obviously, and then the other two guys, definitely not. The only other person I saw was Keon Coleman, but I just find it hard that they would move on from a draft pick like that. Although he has definitely underperformed in his second season here. His name was tossed around as possible trade bait, but also these freaking Facebook pages, I'm like, dude, I have to snooze or unfollow like half of them because it's all crazy clickbait. They're talking about trade, like people are like talking about trading like Josh Allen, like it's crazy stuff they put on there. But I did see Coleman's name, and thinking about it, I mean, obviously he hasn't played up to his potential this year. it's too early to make that kind of move. I say after next season, they have to really reevaluate it. You have to start making a step. We thought this season he'd be making a step forward. He hasn't been able to get himself open. He hasn't been able to put himself in a position to be open. His route running, as we knew, was already kind of a weak part. But we should have been using this guy, I think, in the red zone a little bit more. I think you mentioned that last week. We have been throwing to Kincaid more. So it's just like we do have some weapons when we get down in the 20-yard line or lower. But Coleman hasn't been really effective this year outside of week 1, where pretty much everybody had good stats because we scored 40-something points.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the thing with Coleman is, it's like we're only running fade routes with him. It's like at that point, it's like we're either going to force him the ball because we need to, because there's nothing else available. And we're like, okay, well, we got a 50-50 chance if we throw it to Coleman, because that's the type of receiver he is. Mm-hmm. He's a 50-50 ball guy, and he needs a little bit higher than, more or the average wide receiver. And it's just one of those things where he put on muscle in the offseason. Everybody was optimistic about him. And then it's like, I don't know if it's game planning. I don't know if it's the way we're using him. But I just feel like we're running the same route with him, and he just hasn't been performing the way that we want him to do. The 50-50 balls are turning more into 25-75 balls at this point, where 25% of the time he's going to catch it.
I'm looking at the depth chart right now, and if Daquan Jones does miss, I can see Larry Ogunjobi kind of stepping in there, filling in for him, and having him and Ed Oliver on the line. But for the ends, Michael Hoyt being kind of third string on this, I don't think that's realistic. I think he jumps ahead of Landon Jackson. This might just be because of
Landon Jackson hurt? I thought he might have been injured.
I don't think he is.
Was he not on the injury report? I haven't looked at the injury report today.
Well, you could pull him up anyways. But I would have him. These might be preseason rankings. Like they knew that he was going to be suspended. Right. So maybe it's not updated. But I can see Michael Hoyt kind of subbing in for Joey Bosa, giving him a rest.
That was the plan originally. So Joey Bosa, whose name we haven't heard. Oh, Landon Jackson's definitely hurt, because this is the guy with alopecia. Sure? I'm almost positive Landon Jackson's got an injury. Now that I see his face, either that or he's just not performing and he's just been benched.
Brief training camp. Okay, this is college. I don't think he's hurt.
Okay,
I don't think he's hurt right now. No, this is a prior injury, so he's healthy.
I think he's been underperforming then, because the thing with Joey Bosa and Michael Hoyt was they were going to sub in for each other. They were going to try to limit each other's reps. Mm-hmm. And that was going to give Joey Bosa more of a rest to kind of keep him fresh longer, deeper into the season and the postseason. That was the original. Zero stats. So he has been healthy, but he hasn't played.
Okay. So there's something going on, whether they don't trust him yet to throw him into the fire. I don't know. I think at this point, with how bad our defenses look, especially the last 2 weeks, you should be giving this kid some opportunity here.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think it'll be Michael Hoyt kind of spelling Joey Bosa, who's another guy that I feel like has underperformed this year. And that was my contention with signing him, is that it's a big name player like we did with Von Miller, and a guy that's pretty much at the past his prime. However, the big thing was it was a very, Bills friendly, contract friendly deal where if he does end up burning you a little bit, at least it doesn't hurt the pockets as much. Like the Von Miller thing really set us back. But still, you don't want a guy to underperform regardless. We're going out and getting these players. You want them to perform how you think they're going to perform.
Yeah.
And when they don't, now you got to start going to the bench a little bit. So I think that's what they're going to do.
I'll be interested to see what they do with Landon Jackson, or not Landon, Michael Hoyt and Joey Bosa, how they sub them in. Maybe it depends on how the offense is looking. I think they're going to complement each other well, being able to sub in for each other. And I think Michael Hoyt was the depth piece that we needed to, Joey Bosa needs a rest. Michael Hoyt, come on down. Like you're looking into the same position type of skill set too. Excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like I said, the other position was safety, or like you said, and cornerback. A lot of these guys too. It sucks because you got to look at teams that are pretty much going to be out of the playoff picture this year. Unfortunately, two of those teams are in our division with the Jets and the Dolphins, so there's no way they're trading. And then, like you said, Tennessee, New Orleans. Who else is pretty shitty this year?
Raiders.
The Raiders. Did you hear about Max Crosby potentially going to the Cowboys. Jerry Jones wants to get Max Crosby.
Yeah,
they're really missing Micah Parsons. I'm telling you right now.
I was going to say, you know what? You know who the Cowboys could really use right now is Micah fucking Parsons, who had 3 sacks last week.
Yeah,
that's his most sacks in his career
in a game.
Yeah, it's like, man, the Cowboys could really use a pass rusher like Micah Parsons. Oh wait, they had Micah Parsons and they traded him basically for a bag of Skittles. They not really. They traded him for a first-round pick, and they traded him for...
They got another tackle or something.
They got another tackle who's very good at stopping the run,
right?
Which Jerry Jones was like, we needed to stop the run more than we needed to sack the quarterback. Well,
you need to do both.
Newsflash, you need
to do both. So, but yeah, you're looking at teams that you could possibly get players from, and there's a few out there. All right, wanted to get into kind of next week's games. For next week's game against the Panthers here, 1:00 p.m. game. I want to say, I forgot to write it down. It was 7.5 spread. I want to say on this one.
I can look that up.
You can look that up,
but I'm pretty sure you're pretty much right on the money. It might be 6.5.
If it might have moved, the line moved. 7.5 spread. Panthers 4-3. They've won 3 straight games. They're also 3-0 at home this year. Bills are 1-1 on the road. Guys, it's making 7.5. It's making me nervous, and I never bet Bills games, but I almost want to say take the fucking points, dude, and this is going to be a touchdown or less game.
This would have been like the 4th week in a row that you could have taken the points because the Bills were like 16.5 points favorites that didn't cover, 10-point favorites that didn't cover.
Well, they lost outright both games, too.
Yeah, both those games, too. And against the Dolphins, they were big favorites. They didn't cover that.
Next week, we will actually, I think if we lose especially, but even if we win, I think next week, oh, we're home, so no, we're not. I was going to say maybe next week we're underdogs, but we play the Chiefs next week.
Yep.
So I can see, let's just say hypothetically the Bills did lose us. It might be a pick 'em as far as the spread's concerned next week. It could be 1.5. Panthers led by QB Bryce Young, who's in his 3rd year with the team.
Who's not playing this week.
Who, I don't think they've confirmed it yet. Might not be playing.
I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. I saw it today.
Ankle injury. Andy Dalton would be filling in if that's the case. I saw he has the questionable injury designation right now, but I don't know if anything's been 100% confirmed. Again, when we shoot these on a Wednesday, a lot can change from Wednesday to Sunday. There's certain players, obviously. Bucky Irving's already been announced out for the week after earlier, like yesterday, I think, they said that he was questionable and looked like he could play this week. The very next day, out.
Yeah, so the 2 things I see here, diagnosed with a high ankle sprain, expected to miss week 8. And then the very next thing, it says, taking a turn for the better, showed up to practice without a boot or a noticeable limp. So one was 2 days ago, one was today.
If you're the Bills, you can't lose to the Panthers.
No.
And a backup quarterback at that
you
either.
You can't lose to a sub average.
They're 4-3. They have a winning record, dude.
For the first time in like 8 years.
That's crazy, dude. I didn't think we'd be talking about the Panthers, especially winning 3 straight.
They do have a top 10 run defense, too.
Yeah.
And with J.C. Horn in the secondary.
Yes, they got some pieces. I think that this really, I don't think that. I know that this actually started happening right as soon as Chuba Hubbard went down. Rico Dowdell comes in, had back-to-back 200-plus yard games on the ground, which is crazy. And now he gets to go against a Bills run defense, who is last in the league as far as yards per carry at 5.4 we give up. Worse than the NFL. We saw what Bijan did 2 weeks ago. We're really going to need some help, I think, supporting the run. This is why it's very important. I get like Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi are more of pass rush guys, but just having healthy people, if we need to start making substitutions, that is the key. Stay healthy. That Atlanta game, dude, people were dropping like flies. We talked about it. Mm-hmm. It was like every other play somebody got hurt. You don't need that to happen this week. Stay healthy. Obviously, stop the run first. This is a game where you can be a little bit more one-dimensional because I'm not afraid of Andy Dalton. If he beats you, we got bigger problems. Right. But I would try to stop the run first in this. Rico Dowdell, enemy number 1. Yeah, they got weapons on the outside, but
Rico Dowdell or Dowdell, whatever you want, however you pronounce it. Chuba Hubbard came back last week and it's a 50-50 split. I thought that was Rico's job to lose after the last 2 weeks that he had. But as soon as Chuba Hubbard came back, they split 50-50. He didn't have the same game that he had the 2 weeks prior.
No. He's still out. I think he outperformed
him, but it was a 50-50 split.
It was a 50-50 split, but it's weird because you're right. It should have been his job to lose. It's unfortunate, especially for fantasy purposes, because I picked him up off free agency and that guy was getting me 30 points a week. But you would think it would have been more of like a 70-30 type of split if you're going to ease the guy back into it, especially. But he did. He 50-50 split with him and still outperformed him, even with the 50-50 split. So I
just thought he was going to be the bell cow. And then it's like Chuba Hubbard comes back. It's like, oh, a 50-50 split. It's like, why? Why wouldn't you just ride the hot hand?
He does everything Chuba does, too. He can still catch he's a pass catcher.
Yep.
They use him on the goal line a lot more. Even earlier in the season, they were using Rico a lot more on the goal line. They also have rookie receiver Tet McMillan. Xavier Legette came back from injury last week. Still waiting on Jalen Coker, who is kind of this wild card receiver for them.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about him.
I have too. I know some people in my Discord that are Panthers fans. He's from North Carolina, and he's been hype on this Jalen Coker guy. I know some other people that are hype on him that are saying, well, look, he's just been injured almost his whole career at Carolina, and when he was healthy, he was putting up numbers.
Yep.
And he's a guy, he can get open. He's a good route runner. It's kind of what they need to kind of balance out. Legette, who's more of like a Coleman type of guy, is more of a deep threat. McMillan, same thing, a speedy guy. But this guy's shifty and he can route run. He could do a little bit of everything. So he could be healthy for the Bills game. And then now you got three guys on the outside you got to worry about as well. Again, public enemy one, Rico Dowdell, stop the run, force Andy Dalton to throw the ball, and hopefully good things happen. Last week, no turnovers, I believe, right? We didn't get any turnovers 2 weeks ago against Atlanta. We had that fumble on the first play of the game that got called back because of a penalty. We missed a couple opportunities as far as interceptions were concerned. Josh played sloppy, and it resulted in a loss. So defensively, we also need to step up here, like just over collectively. I want to see the turnovers, because if we don't get turnovers, we don't win the game, and I don't want that to be the narrative, but it has been.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think, like you said, the priority number one is going to have to be stop the run. Defensively, offensively, I think priority number one needs to be keep James Cook involved no matter what happens. He's one of your top three weapons on offense besides Josh Allen and honestly Dalton Kincaid at this point. James Cook needs to be out there in situations where you need first downs. Like I said, that end around where we tried to hand the ball off to Elijah Moore and we fumbled it on a 3rd and 1, where James Cook, you hand it off to him. There's a very good chance when he's averaging 4.8 yards a carry that he's probably going to get that first down. Or you do something other than that. And I know Joe Brady's play calling has been called into question as of late. Shocker, because the offense hasn't looked as good. That's usually the first place you go. We've got Josh Allen. Why isn't our offense scoring 40 points a week? It's got to be the offensive coordinator.
Well, this goes back to me saying like Joe Brady was up for the Pitt coaching job for college, and I had people. You know who was saying this? You must have not have heard it. It was Sir Barbecue. What's his face was saying?
Skeet.
Skeet was like, good riddance. Take him. He's a firm believer. He's a firm believer that it is Joe Brady.
We also know he's also a Brian Daboll favor because
Brian's not coming back here.
He was married. Brian Daboll was married to his sister or some shit like that or something like that.
Yeah, dude, it was like his brother-in-law at one time,
point, which is wild to even fathom.
Yeah,
considering
him,
especially because we knew Skeet when Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator for the Bills, and that never got brought up until 5 years after the fact.
That's
like, wait a minute. Where was this when we knew you 5 years ago when he was still here, or 6 years ago when he was still with the Bills?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at her because I was going to say offensively, we've been struggling through the air the last couple games. Josh has got 4 picks on the year now. I said go back to what works, which has been James Cook. But I'm looking at a receiving core here. And receiver-wise here, Elijah Moore, 4 for 64 on the year. Terrell Shavers, 5 for 51. This is honestly surprising. I know he's not a receiver, but we used Ty Johnson a lot last year in the pass game and 2 catches on the year.
Yeah, that
surprising. Doesn't make sense to me.
And he's our 3rd down back, which doesn't make any sense. That's why he doesn't have any catches. It's very, very weird. Ty Johnson, we were we were happy that he got re-signed with the Bills.
Yeah.
That he came back and we brought him back, whatever. And it was like, that's perfect because that's our third down back. He's going to catch some passes out of the backfield. He made some great plays last year, on third down. And like, that's perfect. That's a guy we need. And now all of a sudden we're not using him.
Facts.
So again, that goes back to Joe Brady. What's he doing with this offensive scheme? Is he trying to get pretty with some of these play calls? Is he trying to be different? Stick to what you know at this point. Whatever you did when you took over for Ken Dorsey and what you did the entire year last year worked. The Bills had the second most points scored in the league last year.
Yeah.
Go back to that. I know the Bills still have one of the higher points per game because of the Baltimore game. They scored 30 the next 3 weeks.
Our first 4 games, we were fine. And then we've slowed down on these 2 losses here. I think that we got away from the run game a little bit too much. We were thinking Josh would air it out more, and with that came some turnovers. Mm-hmm. The Bills themselves on defense couldn't get the turnovers, and we find ourselves in a hole and having to come back, and they just it seems like they abandoned the run in the second half both weeks that we lost.
Yep.
They just kind of gave up on it and go, all right, Josh, step back and throw it every time. Now, look, that might work. Sometimes it's not going to work all the time, especially when you don't have a number 1 wide receiver that can get open.
Yeah,
we don't have Diggs anymore. There's the Diggs days are over. Like them or hate them, getting open on third down is so important, and it gives Josh almost a guarantee that somebody will be open. And if he is covered, then he could use his leg. But it makes defenses double team. It maybe opens up another guy. Having a guy that is almost a lock on third down conversions is huge for your offense. We don't got that this year. We got Shakir, who sometimes can get open, sometimes can't, but he's not a number 1. He's just a slot guy.
He's not really a guy that can get open on route running.
No.
But he's a guy that can get a little bit of space, short yardage, and then make plays after the fact.
He's a yard after catch guy.
Yes, he's a yak guy.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
So he's a yak guy, but we need a guy that can get open before they catch the ball, and we don't have that one. We don't have that type of wide receiver right now.
No.
And I thought that was going to be Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer actually played pretty good until he got hurt against Atlanta.
And then he gets hurt, dude. It's another bummer.
Yeah.
And most of our injuries have come on defense, and that one on offense, and him and Kincaid. I mean, those are 2 big losses there. Your starting tight end, and I guess you can call it your slot guy or second wide. He's actually been our second wide out on the team, man. Those are big losses and big positions. Honestly, if I had to choose, I mean, I don't want to have any more injuries on defense because I don't know who we got left if that was the case.
Right.
This Terrell Bernard thing is also as big. Like we knew Milano, like, okay, Mr. Glass, he got hurt. I'm expecting him to get hurt every year. Bernard is not somebody I wanted or expected to get hurt. Right. That's going to be a big hole to fill. I was going to go back to the depth chart here because I forgot who we have. Is it Joe Andreessen that has to step in here now?
Yeah, I think Joe Andreessen is second on the depth chart behind him.
Milano, where are you? Terrell Bernard. Yeah, it's Joe Andreessen. Because Shaq Thompson, and this was I'll keep preaching this, man. This guy went under the radar pretty much all preseason because it was one of the earliest signings in preseason. People forget about him. By the way, ex-Carolina Panther. We got him from the Panthers essentially. He'll be starting. Milano's not going to be there, and Bernard's probably hurt. So you can expect Shaq Thompson against his old team might ball out.
Yeah, that'd be great. Don't threaten me with a good time if he balls out.
I'm all for that. I think he was actually somebody last week that almost had an interception. It either went through his hands or he just missed one. But I like the way he's been playing, and a lot of it has been him spelling Milano this year. But it looks like for the foreseeable future, he might be a starter. So expect some things from him. All right, let's move on from the Bills game. Unless you got anything else you want to add on top of that.
The only thing I want to add on to is I've seen a lot of rumblings about a lot of fans are just clamoring for a change. We need a change. We need a change.
People panic after 2 losses.
After we were 4-2 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
What happened with that after we were 4-2? We fired Ken Dorsey.
Yep.
Insert Joe Brady. Yep. Last year we were 4-2. We lost those back-to-back games again. Once was to the Texans. I forgot who the other one was to. We made a change. We went out and drafted Amari Cooper.
Yep.
So we're 4-2 this year. Lost back-to-back games again for the 3rd consecutive year in a row that we've lost back-to-back games, and we're 4-2 after 6 games. I expect a change probably after this game. The trade deadline is November 4th, so we're pretty close to the trade deadline at this point. I expect the Bills to make a change somewhere. The only coach that I could see making a change is probably going to be Bobby Babich.
I don't see that going on.
Like I said, when McDermott was playing the calls, I understand the 13 seconds, all that bullshit.
No, it's not even it though.
But we had a top 5 defense when Sean McDermott was calling the plays for defense.
But I can't blame
Bobby
all
Babich,
that on him because of the injuries. That's why
Sean McDermott had the same injuries. He dealt with injuries too on defense.
I get it, but what's his first year or second year?
Second year.
I can't do that yet. Is it his second year?
No, this is his third year. This is Bobby Babich's
second year.
Yeah, second year. You're right.
Second year.
Because second full year, third year. No, I can't. I can't remember now. Okay. Why don't you look that up while I ramble on? So Bobby Babich, with Bobby Babich, the defense is a bottom 10 defense the last 2 years. Before that, even with Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott, you flip a coin who you think was deciding on the play calling for that. We were a top 5 defense.
2024. Well, I mean, he's been on the team, but as far as defensive coordinator.
So last year and this year. So this is his second full year. This is also Joe Brady's second full year as offensive coordinator. Like I said, I'm not expecting a coaching change, but if there was one, the defense has been so suspect that I could see if we have to make a change, someone's going to have to take the fall. It's probably going to be Bobby Babich. Just because the offense has still put up 30-plus points 4 out of 6 games this year. If anybody's taking the fall for the defensive struggles, it's probably going to be Bobby Babich. And if we do make a change, trading for a player, we're probably going to end up making more of a change on the defensive side this time instead of the offensive side. I would really like to go get a younger safety, but like you said, going off of teams that are bad this year, that are probably already out of playoffs, that could use a top pick or just a first round pick, even second round pick next year. Very limited. So I'm actually kind of leaning more towards we probably don't make a change this year, which kind of sucks. But at this point, we just need this defense to get healthy at the same point.
Right.
But Trey White is not the answer at safety right now. He just looks absolutely lost anywhere on the field. Is he a safety or cornerback?
Trey White is a corner.
What did I say?
You asked what he was.
Is it? Yeah.
He's a corner, yeah.
Oh, okay. You said, well, Trey White is a corner.
Yeah.
The way you said it was like,
I was surprised you didn't know who that.
No, I thought I said somebody else was a safety. But DeMar Hamlin hurt, even when he's healthy, too slow. We already know he's only on the team because of the situation that happened against the Bengals. And we're so slow in the secondary. I think the pieces that we have coming back off of the suspension and the injuries that we have in the middle of and the offensive line of our defense, I think they're going to be okay. We need to get faster and better in the secondary. So that's where I could see the Bills trying to make a change.
We're lacking speed in the secondary as a whole. You're right.
That's what I mean. We need to get faster and younger in the secondary.
It's a bunch of old guys back there. Or
Jordan Poyer shouldn't be playing. Trey White shouldn't be playing. I forgot the third guy, or Jordan Phillips, who.
Well, he's not playing.
He did play. He played 2 weeks ago.
Not Phillips. Poyer, right? Was he?
Poyer played. Yeah, Poyer played 2 weeks ago against Atlanta.
Pulling back up the depth chart again. He's not even on this depth chart, bro.
That's a very old depth chart then, because Jordan.
It's Bill's website. Remember you yelled at me last time because I was on ESPN. Now I'm on the Bills official.
Right. Well, just go down the list and pick up. Find Jordan Poyer on there. I don't even know how it's.
It's probably a last name.
Definitely not alphabetical order, because I just saw Elijah Moore.
He's not on the team. He's on the practice squad. So
he's played.
But he has played. You're right.
Yeah. He played 2 weeks ago against Atlanta. He just didn't look good.
All right, guys. Let's get in some NFL news here. We'll start with your game that you wanted to start with, game of the week. I think,
in my opinion, that was game of the week.
I agree with you on that one. It is game of the week, just because
it was quarter of the week.
We're breaking NFL history here with what happened. But Broncos come back against the Giants 33-32, scoring all 33 points in the fourth quarter. By the way, like I'm talking to Cody. I think we were playing Fortnite, and he was like asking me how Bo Nix was doing, and no shit, at halftime he had 3 points.
Yes.
Going into the fourth quarter, he had like 5. And he's like, I should have started Jackson Dart. No shit. phone kept going off, touchdown, 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 touchdown. He ended off with like over 40 points, which was crazy.
Yep.
The Broncos' 33 fourth quarter points were the most in NFL history by any team that was shut out for the first 3 quarters. And Bo Nix became the first player ever to run for 2 and throw for 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. My question was, is this more about the Giants collapsing or the Broncos coming back? I'll let you answer first.
Well, you can't have one without the other. The Broncos can't. The Broncos can't come back without a little bit of a collapse from the Giants.
Sure,
33 points in 15 minutes.
Where would you put the weight on this one? Like
I'm putting more of the weight on a Giants collapse.
I am too.
I
am too.
They also,
that should never happen.
And I don't know.
You should not allow that to happen in any world. Like, because you could play perfect, but you can't play at all defense if you're the other team. If the Broncos played perfect, and then they made their extra points, they lose the game. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's got to be total collapse.
That's why I said before the podcast, when we were just chatting while you were getting it loaded, the Giants, I kept wanting to say Cowboys. The Giants missed 2 extra point attempts on their touchdowns. If they make those, that game doesn't matter. That comeback never happens. And that kicker ended up getting released this week as well. So it's more of a collapse on the defense for the Giants and the fact that they missed 2 extra points and neither one of them got blocked. It's the first time in 40 years that a kicker has missed 2 extra points that were not blocked in the same game. That's hard to do.
That's actually incredible.
That's absolutely incredible. So yes, the Giants absolutely collapsed a little bit, but you got to give credit to the Broncos for never quitting on that game. They were down 18 points with like 6 minutes left or 7 minutes left or some shit like that, and they never quit on that game. Like, so you got to give credit to the Broncos because a lot of teams have been like, look what happened to the Raiders. The Raiders had 3 timeouts and just with like 4 minutes left or 3 minutes left and just let Kansas City be like,
well, that's over at 4 minutes, brother.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a divisional game too. Like, you don't want to get shut out. The least you could do is use your timeouts, try to get the ball back, and at least not get shut out in a divisional game. The Raiders were like, they threw their hands up, like they threw in the white flag.
They just laid down.
We're done. Yep, we got all 3 timeouts with 3 minutes to go. That's fine. You guys kneel the ball all 3 times.
And I saw it was a Patrick Surtain quote, and he was asked about the game, and he admitted, he's like, I thought it was over. Like, he said, I gave up hope. He's like, I'm not going to lie to you, I gave up hope. That was a bigger comeback than the Bills.
Yep.
A little bit more time on the clock, but a bigger comeback than the Bills. And you had people on the sideline. I mean, Josh, obviously, he was an advocate of it. Like, hey, we're still in this game.
Yeah. You're
never going to catch usually players admitting that, like, they've given up, even if they have given up. So I was actually really surprised that Surtain, who is their best defensive player,
arguably one of the best cornerbacks in the game,
and their best player overall, probably their leader on defense, to come out publicly and say that. But you're right, man. You're down 33-0 or 32-0, and you just score 33 straight, which is crazy. But my question was, and I agree with you, you can't have one without the other. What was more to blame? And it's definitely the Giants of the collapse of the Giants. Still, Jackson Dart was good through 3 quarters. He played good football. They couldn't finish out the game. Their kicker missed some points. I don't blame that loss.
You could have asked for more from Jackson Dart.
You couldn't. So, like, I don't blame him. I don't think he's the reason why they lost.
I don't know if he had any turnovers in the
I wanted to look that up, actually, because the Gill podcast, Aqib Talib was talking about it. I don't know if he's just a Jackson Dart hater or a Giants hater. But I know he used to play for the Broncos, so I know. So he played for the Broncos. He did play for the Broncos, but he was throwing this man under the, like, just saying Jackson Dart ain't it. Like, what do you mean he ain't it?
Yeah, he is.
He is it.
He's absolutely it.
You can't put that loss on him either. But I'm gonna look.
You put up 32 points, and your kicker misses 2 extra points, and you lose by 1 point, and you're gonna blame the quarterback. I'm sorry, Aqib Talib, but you're absolutely wrong on that. Jackson Dart is him. Jackson Dart has looked absolutely incredible since he took over for Russell Wilson. That doesn't make absolutely any sense that you would blame the quarterback in that game when you put up 32 points, your kicker missed 2 extra points, your defense looked like fucking Swiss cheese in the fourth quarter and couldn't fucking catch a cold, couldn't stop anything. Like, it just doesn't make sense to blame it on the quarterback who did just about everything right in that game.
I got the play-by-play, and it looked like he did have an interception. I'm just going to see where that was. Yep, fourth quarter. So he was...
Okay.
He had 3 touchdowns up until that point. 3 touchdowns, no picks. So,
but he threw another touchdown after that.
No, I think he finished with 3.
He finished with 4, didn't he?
No, he finished with 3. I think Bo Nix finished with 4 total. Where's my box score here? Yeah, he had 3.
Didn't he have a rushing, though?
Oh, maybe he had a rushing, though. I don't know.
Yeah, he had a rushing.
So
he had 4 total touchdowns.
Both quarterbacks had 4 touchdowns in that game. But look at 283 with 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. So he had 4 touchdowns before that 1 interception. That's not why they lost the game, dude. Right. Like, come on now. That's actually crazy. I was gonna say I think this just came out today. I saw on Pat McAfee. Did you see the quote from Sean Payton about Russ? That's crazy.
Dude. And my biggest thing was, it's like, you're making this quote about Russ, but Russ isn't the one that decided to trade all of those picks and all of those players for himself. Yeah, he came in with a little bit of an attitude.
He did come in with an attitude.
He came in with this, like, not, I guess, cockiness, arrogance, whatever you want to call it. He was expecting his own office in the building. He wanted all of this shit done. He came in entitled is the word I'm looking for. He came in a little bit entitled because of what he did in Seattle. So it's like, okay, I get it. But Russell Wilson isn't the one who made that decision to pay him all that money, trade for all of those picks, trade for all of those players as well. Sean Payton's a little bit salty, I think, that it didn't work out with Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson made Sean Payton look a little bad that those 2 years that he was in Denver, because Sean Payton's this quarterback guru.
Well, the second year he actually didn't look too bad with them.
He had better numbers the second year than the first year. But I remember the first year in Detroit, we were keeping track of touchdowns to toilets in Russell Wilson's home.
Yeah,
I remember that. Like, we were in like week 14 or 15, and Russell Wilson still had more toilets, like 13 or 14,
than touchdowns
in his home, and he had touchdowns on the season.
Well, and I didn't even mention it. I did want to read the quote real quick from both parties here. So, Sean's I think it was a post-game interview or whatever, and he said they found a little spark with that quarterback. He was talking about Dart. I was talking to John Mara, Giants owner, not too long ago, and I said, we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game. And then Russ said back on Twitter, classless, not surprised, didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 plus years later through the media, which is a wild thing to say.
Yeah.
And I don't think
uncharacteristic of
correct.
Russ.
Nobody would expect that from Russ, who's kind of like a quieter guy, but he never has like that authenticity about him where like you really believe what he's saying. He kind of just feels like he's like an NPC almost. Like he just says like he just says things that he's supposed to say. I don't know if this was him, if it was his wife that tweeted from his account, but like it could.
Could you imagine?
It could have been Sierra, dude. Who knows? But I think a lot of people I've seen more people in favor of Russ being
for sure.
Great for clapping back at this point. Because you're right. If you're the coach, like, yeah, I get it. It wasn't that big of a jab, but it was still a jab.
It was a jab.
And you don't do that jab to a former player from last year.
2 years ago.
Or 2 years ago, unless there was something kind of, there's some relationship with the relationship that was going on. They rubbed him the wrong way.
Sean Payton salty. That he kind of made him look bad because there was a lot of like media saying like, oh, did Sean Payton lose a step because he's this quarterback guru and Russell Wilson looked great in Seattle, got booted out of there pretty much, and then goes to Sean Payton, who was supposed to be the guy for quarterbacks.
But here's the thing: I'm going to say this about Sean Payton though. I think he had Breeze for most of his career, right? Sean Payton, I feel like, is better with a younger quarterback, and you can see that with Bo Nix right now. A guy like Russell, who you already know what you're going to get out of him, is not going to mesh with a guy like Payton if he's trying to do something, if he's trying to mold you, if he's trying to flip the culture. Because Russ is going to do Russ, and Sean Payton wants to do him. And I don't think those guys were just ever on the same page as far as that in totally Denver. And it didn't work. It didn't work. It's not necessarily like he failed at being a quarterback whisperer. That shit only works when you're a younger quarterback and you're trying to mold this guy. We already knew what we were going to get from Russ, and I think Russ wasn't willing to do a lot of things either. Yeah. I think they wanted Russ to run more like he did in Seattle, and he didn't want to do that anymore. He still doesn't run more. He's older, which I get it. He's kind of evolved into a different type of quarterback. So, we spent a lot of time on this game, but this was the game of the week, and
in my opinion, that was a game.
I agree with you though on that, and it was a good game. It was a crazy game. One of the wildest comebacks in NFL history. All points scored in the fourth quarter. There, like if you're playing fantasy football and you had Bo Nix like Cody did, and your phone was going off all of the last 15 minutes of the game, you're like, what the fuck's going on? I thought maybe I got a virus on my phone or something.
No, I was watching that game on Red Zone because the Bills were off. And that's the best time.
That's the best time to watch Red Zone.
I'm a little disappointed the Bills have a 1 o'clock game because I love watching Red Zone.
Zone's the best.
But I'm putting the Bills game on at 1 o'clock, and then there's only like 3 or 4 games on at the 4 o'clock games.
Hey, we're back to one Monday night game. I'm so happy. We're not doing the doubleheader Monday bullshit
Thank
again.
God that was the last Monday night.
10 fucking p.m., dude.
That was horrible. If you're on the East Coast,
too late.
You got to stay up till 1:30 in the morning to watch the end of that game, and it wasn't even a good game.
Was not a good game. Well,
neither one of the games
nobody.
was good.
If you're on the East Coast, I hope in God's name you didn't stay up that late because you're not a fan of either of those teams, and you got to work in the morning.
You got to be part of the media covering something or just covering sports in general or football in general, and you have to watch that game for your job. At that point, you might as well just go to bed and get the Cliff Notes in the morning and watch highlights because that game sucked to watch. The game before that, which I thought was going to be the game of the week,
Atlanta, San Fran, or was that Sunday night?
That was Sunday night. Tampa Bay and Detroit.
Yes.
Tampa Bay only put up 9 points. Tampa Bay, their injuries are starting to show. They're looking like the 49ers at this point with all the injuries they have.
I just skip ahead a little bit. I put in my key injuries here. I only have 3 names this week, but Mike Evans re-injuring himself. Well, collarbone this time, but it was like a concussion or no, that was
collarbone, shoulder concussion. They didn't know what it was at that point
because he looked like he was knocked out for a little bit too.
Yeah,
but collarbone is what they diagnosed him with. IR, pretty much season, which sucks because this is a guy who's never had under 1,000-yard season. I was
going to say that's in jeopardy. It ends it because he's not coming back probably till the end of the season. He's not getting.
No, he's not.
He only had a couple. He was already missed a couple games this year.
Yeah,
he just come back.
He's 100% not getting it this year. It sucks that you don't like to see good players go down though, especially guys that have had such a good career.
And he's a good guy too.
He's a good guy too. No, he's not a cock. He's not a diva. He's not one of these guys where you hate him. He's always done the right thing. And he's been a good player since he's been in the league. My second favorite game of the week here was the Thursday night game, which is surprising because usually these are dog shit games. I'm happy that I didn't pick an under because I probably wouldn't have got anybody's under in this game. Bengals get their 3rd win of the season against the Steelers in what you called the Icy Hot Bowl. Both QBs look great. There was no defense being played. I thought the Bengals would cover the 5.5, and they did cover the 5.5. We both picked the Steelers to win the game, but we were proven wrong. But I definitely thought 5.5 divisional game. Bengals are on the ropes. Yeah, Flacco week 2. He got 10 days under his belt now. He's getting more accustomed to the offense. We saw Joey Bag of Donuts in Cleveland when he came in there, and he was just fucking airing that ball out. Look at week 1, you only had 3 days of prep, and he hung in with a way better team with the Green Bay Packers. Now you're going against the Steelers, who are still a good team, but it's a divisional opponent. You know your opponent. The coaching staff will get you ready. You have more time to prepare. You have Jamar Chase, you have Jamar Chase.
That dude had 23 targets.
That's insane.
Set a franchise record for 16 receptions, and he dropped a couple of them. And my favorite picture, side-by-side picture from that game was Jamar Chase bobbling one off his hands, not catching it, and Joe Flacco being like, what the fuck? Catch the ball. When he had 16 receptions. I don't know when that actually happened, but that was probably like my funniest moment from that game was just Joe Flacco, second game with that team, being like, what the fuck, to the second best receiver, arguably the best receiver in the league, dropping a ball even though he had 16 catches on 23 targets. That's right. That's
the Bengals' whole team. I wanted to see who was second because I feel like it was AJ Green back in the day.
AJ Green.
But I wanted to see what his numbers were on that. That was an incredible game. Little foreshadowing. Both hit our props on that for the week as well.
Even though you didn't bet them.
I didn't bet the props. I don't
know what happened.
I don't know. I had a bad week of betting actually this week, and it started with that Thursday night game. I had a good week
of betting with that, and then I bet Shohei, the hitter and the pitcher on Friday night, and I could have bet a lot more strikeouts and 2 more home runs than what I did. I had 1 home run and 6 strikeouts.
Perfect.
5 only paid me like $40.
You would have been,
bro. But if I would have bet 3 home runs and 10
you would
have
had $1,000.
Yeah, easy on $5. But that's all I bet. I bet for fun. I don't do this. I'm not like Chris who bets hundreds and thousands of dollars. Not hundreds of thousands, hundreds and thousands.
Pink slips. We're betting house mortgages. Yeah,
dude. He's got his 3rd house on a bet this year.
Yep. Pats beating the Titans 31-13.
We saw that.
Mike Vrabel getting his revenge on his former team. We both called that. Pats lead the AFC East. Are they the best team in the AFC East?
Well, they were the best team in the AFC East after they beat the Bills. Well, no.
But are they really the best team in the AFC East? Despite what the record says.
Yeah, why not? Okay. Might as well. The Bills haven't looked great.
I'm gonna agree with you on that.
The Bills haven't looked great. The defense looks horrible. We're relying on Josh Allen. We don't have, Drake May, who I've been a huge supporter of even last year.
Yeah, everybody likes Drake May. That's so funny. Everybody likes Drake May. Nobody liked Tom Brady. I guarantee if Drake May wins 2 Super Bowls in a row, nobody in Buffalo will ever like this guy ever again.
No, I'm saying I like Drake May better than I did Mac Jones. And speaking of Mac Jones, he's balling out in San Francisco right now. He looks absolutely fantastic.
It's all change of scenery. What we said with Daniel Jones, Mac Jones.
I totally agree. But that's just but they're also different teams and they're also different mindsets. Mac Jones in the Patriots is not Drake May in the Patriots. 2 totally different coaches, 2 totally different offensive coordinators. All of that's all different. So that's why it's like Drake May with what he had, the end of Bill Belichick's career and the beginning of the coach that got fired after 1 year. I can't remember his name.
The black dude. He was a defensive linebacker or something like that.
Yes, he played for the Patriots, yada yada yada. Anyways, it just didn't matter what he did. Mac Jones had a good season when he had an offensive coordinator under Bill Belichick, and then he had a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator, and he sucked. And they're like, "Well, he's chopped liver. We're getting rid of him." He went to Jacksonville.
Gerard Mayo.
That's yep.
Right. Makes
Miracle
sense.
Whip is better than Mayo.
Eagles got back on track after beating the Vikings. Another game I think we both called on this one, or did you take the Vikings?
I took Philadelphia.
Back on track, 28-22. Jalen Hurts did something he hasn't done since September of last year. Throw for 300 yards.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Had a perfect passer rating.
Perfect passer rating. Threw for over 300 yards. I didn't look at Barkley's stats to see if he got more involved.
He was dog shit.
So I don't know if this is just like we're phasing Barkley out. Look, when you're throwing for 300 yards, I hope to God you win that game. But there's no reason why the Eagles have just kind of completely left him out of their offense at this point.
Well, you know what the best part is Saquon Barkley's not bitching about it like A.J. Brown is. A.J. Brown's getting 5 targets. He's like, I need the ball more.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley's getting 15 touches
Saquon
compared
got
to 25.
Paid out the fucking ass though. Too.
A.J. Brown got paid out the ass too.
Yeah,
so it doesn't really matter.
You're
At this point, A.J. Brown's a little bit of a bitch. You can post.
I thought you wanted him.
I would love A.J. Brown on the Bills. But not with that attitude.
Not with that.
I would love A.J. Brown's talent on the Bills, not his attitude.
He'd have fucking 10 targets a game minimum every game. So
with the Bills?
With the Bills.
Absolutely.
10 targets a game every game.
Minimum. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no excuse why they don't throw him the ball more regardless, but I still believe it all starts with Saquon. He is your best player, bar none. AJ is good, but Saquon's still the best player on that team.
Saquon's the best player.
You have to. He's arguably he's top 3 in the league. So you arguably have to be getting him the ball, even if you have to force it sometimes. But they just get away from this game plan, and it's a lot of this I think has to do with the coaching change and them getting rid of Kellen Moore, having to find a new OC, and I think they're really trying to find their way this year. This is kind of like a troubleshoot thing. Vice versa, if you look at somebody like the Lions who lost their OC and DC, are doing just fucking fine. Now, that starts with the head coaching up top, and I think Dan Campbell is a far better coach than Nick Sirianni. So even though Nick Sirianni just won a Super Bowl, everybody likes
Doug
Dan
Peterson
Campbell.
Also won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. And
I'm
then
talking about head coaching, though, just from a head coaching.
Doug Peterson was the head coach in 2018. Was it Doug Peterson?
It wasn't Doug. I don't think it was Doug
Who was
Peterson.
who was the head coach in 2018 for the Eagles? The head coach for the Eagles.
It was Doug Peterson.
It was Doug Peterson. That was a Nick Foles year when Carson Wentz got hurt, blowing his ACL out against the Rams. And
you're right, Doug Peterson.
Yeah, Doug Peterson.
And then Staley, running backs coach.
And then 2 or 3 years later, he got fired because they underperformed after just winning a Super Bowl. Philadelphia is one of those teams where they're no nonsense. And did we talk about this last week, or did we talk about this at the Cigar Barbecue? Where no head coach has been a head coach for a team for 7 years, and after their 7th year has won the Super Bowl.
We talked about Cigar Barbecue, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. That was Skeet, I think, brought that up.
Sean McDermott would be the first head coach to do that, which is wild. So if anybody's on the hot seat this year, it's probably going to be Sean McDermott. And I know you're anti that.
I just don't think it's going to.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Not that I'm
either.
Anti it. I just don't think it's happening.
I wouldn't be shocked if it happens, but I'm also not going to be like, well, of course he's coming back, because we've had winning seasons all but 1 year that he's been, all but 2 years that he's been here.
I mean, it just
doesn't
at
make
this point, and I think this is like the Pagulas too. They're just happy with being a good team every year, and they found the coach. They found that the culture's good still. Players aren't really complaining. We got the quarterback. So I think from an ownership perspective, they're content with how we've been doing. I mean, we haven't won a chip, but they're happy with they're making money, and that's all most of the owners just care about making money. And we're winning games at least during the regular season, and fans are happy for a majority of that. So my thing is, you fucking go 5 and whatever one season. See you later. They're just waiting for that one bad season just to give them a reason, because they don't have a reason right now. We're winning. We're selling tickets. Everybody's happy. The coach, everybody likes to go. They need one bad season.
So I don't call this a bad season. I do call it a bad season. If the Bills don't win the division and they're a wild card team and they get bounced in the wild card, I think he's gone.
No, still no.
No, you don't think if they don't win the division?
They don't win the division and they make playoffs still no. Still no.
I don't know. I think if you're
making a wild card with a winning record.
Top 3.
So you'll have a winning record. They'll have a winning record. I almost think it has to be literally a losing record. It has to be a losing record, no playoffs.
Yeah, I guess, because that's the Mike Tomlin thing right now. He's been the head coach for 17 years and he hasn't lost. He hasn't had a losing season. And he's got one Super Bowl, but his Super Bowl win was with Bill Cowher's team, basically.
Hey, real quick, the stream hasn't froze today, so congrats. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm happy we figured that out. All right, last game here before we get into the pick'ems. Colts improved to 6-1. Win over the Chargers, 38-24. Best record in football. Are they the team to beat overall? Is that the team this year?
No.
Who's better than them?
I still think the Bills are better than them. You play the Bills and the Colts play right now, I think the Bills win.
So the Patriots are better than them? Because you just said the Patriots were better than the Bills.
No, I think it's...
I said the Patriots are leading the AFC East. Are they the best team? And you go, yes. So... in your theory,
okay, I didn't hear the word best.
I said the best team.
I thought you said, "Are they?" Is okay?
Yeah,
I heard that wrong.
Yeah,
I thought you're like, does that? I thought it was
we
like,
got Jeff,
that make
guys.
sense?
We got Jeff too. And these are only 5.5%.
My bad.
So back to my question. All right, are they? I don't know. That's not even shown, anyways.
I know.
6-1, best record. Are they the team to beat? I would say no as well, but it's not the Bills. I don't think we're the best. I don't think we're the team to beat. I think the Chiefs are fucking scaring me.
The Chiefs look dummy good
and
right
also like Detroit, because they fell into the Chiefs, but outside of the Chiefs, them, and then Tampa, because they fell in that kind of same trap. They fell into a team that was really hungry too. So like Detroit, Tampa, Kansas City, and the Colts, I'd say those 4 are all kind of in the realm. But I still, dude, it just scares me because the Chiefs are never fucking out of it, and they just got healthier. Other teams are getting less healthy. They got healthier.
Mm-hmm.
So it pains me to say this, dude. I still think it's the Chiefs just to lose this one. The Eagles don't scare me. The Ravens obviously don't scare me. The Giants, as good as they are this year, they don't scare me. And I don't think they can make a deep playoff push either. They don't have the experience. I'm thinking of like just hot teams right now. It's the Colts, dude. It's a Daniel Jones who's been in the league, who's got something to prove, who is doing this without fucking weapons. They don't even have their number one. Neighbors is gone. And their defense, you don't hear too much about, but it's good. It's decent. It's not like top. And they got they just got something to prove, I think, because they've been dog shit for so long. So they worry me. I say they're a top 3 team. I think the Chiefs are above them, and fuck, man, I'd put Detroit even above.
I liked Daniel Jones when he was on the Giants, and I thought Daniel Jones should have gotten franchise tag to be able to pay Saquon Barkley to keep them there, because Daniel Jones.
They fucked that whole thing up. Can
Daniel
you imagine?
Jones needed Saquon Barkley more than Saquon Barkley needed Daniel Jones, and now you got Daniel Jones with Jonathan Taylor, who has 11 touchdowns after 6 games or 7 games, whatever it is. He's leading the league in touchdowns. He's had 3 games of 3 touchdowns this year.
Yeah,
JT's him. It's incredible.
Bijan, and then it's either JT or Cook. It's kind of like they're all kind of right there. I got Bijan 1. Honestly, you can put C-Mac in there, dude, because he's been healthy this year.
C-Mac's been fantastic this year.
So Bijan is 1. I got JT at 2, and then Cook and C-Mac can be 3. They could share it if they want. Because as far as
Cook,
running, but
Cook
running,
would be 3 if they gave him the ball more.
If we're saying, and they gave him, they stopped these last 2 games. If we're talking about running back, like runners, C-Mac has been doing way more in the past game, but his running, I got Cook above him.
We need Cook to be more like C-Mac. Just like the 49ers have a bunch of injuries at the wide receiver, the Bills don't have wide receivers that are number 1 wide receivers. So we should be looking at these wide receivers like they're injured at this point, and just use James Cook like C-Mac, because the 49ers, when they have injuries, who are they using out of the backfield? Christian McCaffrey, who had more receiving yards than rushing yards like 2 games or 3 games in a row. Like, Cook needs to be more like C-Mac when it comes to being utilized more in the offense.
I agree,
and that's what kind of drives me nuts. But when he wasn't on the field, and
that's not the Bills' MO though. Is like everybody eats, and they're doing
needs to change.
But
that
they're doing that with
they're
doing that with the running backs as well. Now they haven't done it this year because they've been obviously. I just showed you like Ty Johnson hasn't got the catches that he's got, and he's only got like 11 carries on the year. Ray Davis has got 13 carries on a year. They're not using them as much. It has been more of a focal point around Cook. However, it'll never be the C-Mac effect. They and especially right now though, I think it's even more emphasized because they're down to Mac Jones as the quarterback. I think he feels safer just checking it down to C-Mac. He knows that's like his bailout every time. And I think the play calling has been a little bit different because of the backup quarterback situation. We're going to see possibly Purdy this week. He might come back. They just got back Kittle last week.
Who had 0 catches.
But that's why it's like risky playing these guys week 1 when they come back.
Dude, I thought he was ready to go, and I thought
it's risky.
You got a receiver. Yeah, I know he's a tight end, but you got a receiver that can catch.
Yep.
That is a bona fide like stud on the offense. I thought Kittle. I would have bet the house on Kittle having at least 5 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown last week.
And this week he's Pearsall's probably still not going to play.
Yep.
Juwan Jennings hurt. He's hurt, but he's actually got for the first time he's healthy before like Wednesday, so he's getting better. Yeah. But it's been like Kendrick Bourne and Jake Tongas, and they've been just kind of spreading the ball themselves. But I think a lot of that C-Mac getting his productivity is kind of bumped up because of Mac Jones being the quarterback, which it isn't a bad thing. If a top 3 running back is healthy, give him the ball as much as possible. And this is what they should be doing in Philly, and they're not. Real quick, though, before we get into the schedule here, because I see him pressing up on it, or we'll be in an hour and a half.
I just picked it up because I know you said...
No, but I know I'm looking at the time, like, we're going to press on an hour and a half here after this. I did want to talk about key injuries real quick. I already mentioned Mike Evans, IR for the year. Jaden Daniels re-injures himself. Hammy again. I don't know if that was a second hammy or if it was something before. Insert Marcus Mariota, who is serviceable. He did fine. I think he went 1-1 or 1-2 when he was subbed in, but like he's serviceable and he could win you games. He has won them a game. But the other thing is like Debo's hurt and Terry McLaurin hasn't played since week 2.
Yeah.
So they need to get healthier.
I picked the Commanders not to make the playoffs this year.
It's tough. Well, with the injury, yeah, you're right now, but I didn't know the injuries were going to happen. But I didn't. Nah, I think if no injuries, we haven't seen Jaden Daniels.
They won 7 games in a 1-score game in their last like 8 games. So,
dude, but Jaden Daniels is the X factor, and we haven't been able to see them with Jaden Daniels in all 7 games this year. There could have been games that he could have won by himself with just his legs alone. Also, your number 1 receiver has been hurt since week 2. Like Debo has done good as filling in for that, but I don't care how slow, like I have Terry McLaurin in fantasy and he hasn't been great with the 2 games he played and the targets were like not where you want them, but it still is another weapon. So you're missing your number 1 receiver and your quarterback. Yeah, dude, I wouldn't pick them either. But look at the rest of the division. The Eagles are having a down year. The Cowboys are having a down year. The Giants are having an up year, but still could be a competitive division. I would not bet that they wouldn't make playoffs. I think it's anybody's division this year. That division is wide open still.
Yeah,
there's no clear winner right now.
I think it's wide open.
Eagles are probably favored still, but it's still wide open in my opinion. And then Nico Collins, this is the guy that got a concussion and an injury at the same time. Watching this on fucking at 11 o'clock at night or whenever the fuck it was. Actually, it was probably later because I think he got hurt in the 4th quarter. I lose to Terry by 3 points. Thanks, Nico Collins, for getting fucking hurt, needing 3 more points. The Texans are pitiful. If they like Seattle's got a decent defense, but I don't think they're like anything to be afraid of. You only have one guy, and they don't throw to him 10 times a game like they do Jamar Chase or who has multiple people. Right? I don't know what it is with C.J. Stroud. I understand the offensive line is trash. Nick Chubb, they ran him like 5 times. Woody Marks, they ran him like 7 times. Dalton Schultz had 10 targets or 11 targets that game. Blows my mind. And then all the other receivers are just like fill in. They're third stringers on every other team. You have a stud receiver in Nico Collins, and you're not forcing this guy the ball.
They're missing Tank Dell.
They really are missing Tank Dell. And I get it, man. I think the offensive line is really the culprit of this. CJ Stroud has not looked good this year. He didn't look that great last year, but this year he's looked really bad. I don't understand. I thought maybe Nick Chubb would provide a spark at least to do something. The Joe Mixon thing, it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. I ended up dropping him like 2 weeks ago because nobody can give me an update when he's like going to return. It was like the Maxwell Hairston. Every week was like, we don't know what's going to happen. So chalk it up. Texans, they're out this year. No playoffs. They'll be lucky to be a 500 team. All right, guys. I know I kind of rushed that a little bit, but I did want to get into our pick'ems because we are running a little long this episode. Let me switch over here to the screen capture.
Remember that text? Oh, we're going to have a short episode because
I thought we were, but this is what happens. We go off cuff. We had some things.
I kind of like that though a little bit. We go off cuff a little bit. You know.
It makes it easier on me because I spend so much time researching this shit ahead of time. It's mainly Bill stuff I research just to make sure I get make sure I remember the game correctly. Because
I don't got nothing in front of me, brother. I got my phone has our podcast up just to see if
you just got to show up, dude. That's all you got to do.
I show up. I speak my mind. I give you some facts. I give you some stats, and we're out here, bro.
I like it.
You know, I'm making sure nobody's. If anybody says something on the podcast or on the live chat for YouTube, you know, I'm out here making sure. That's the only reason I knew we were frozen a couple weeks ago because, you know, Frankie the Fish was like, hey, guys, your video ain't working.
Well, I got text messages that week, too. I think my mom texted me, was like, your stream's frozen.
And then last week was the same thing. Like, your stream doesn't work.
Well, we're good this week, man. We got no issues, and we started it correctly. There's only one stream happening. I figured out that thing, so I think we're good for the foreseeable future if I just repeat what I did this week.
I like it.
All right, week 8 football here. We'll start with the Thursday night game. Minnesota at Los Angeles. Spreads 3.5 for LA. This is actually a tricky game to pick here. Minnesota coming off a loss. LA, I think they won last week. They played the Dolphins.
No, they lost to the Giants. No, they lost to the Colts.
They lost the Colts. So one team coming off a loss, one team coming off a loss. Both teams coming off a loss. All right, 5.5%, guys. 5.5%. I go with the home team on this one because I think LA, they started the season so good and they've slipped. The last 3 games have been terrible for the Chargers.
They lost their offense. They lost their big tackle Joe Alt. They got
That's
him back
a huge
last
loss.
week.
Yeah.
They kind of came back a little bit last week. but it was too little too late. They couldn't mount that comeback like Denver did. Go Chargers, go at this point. I'm taking the Chargers as well.
Yeah, I think this is a bounce back game for them, especially at home. All right, starting off Sunday games. No international game this week, but they're not done. I think there's 2 more international
London
games
are done, but I think they got two in Germany, I think.
So 1 in Germany and 1 in Madrid, Spain.
Oh, okay. They got another one in Spain? Because I thought they did Brazil.
Well, Brazil and Spain are different countries. So
holy shit, I'm fucking dumb. Wow.
So correct. Madrid, Spain.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, there's 2 more.
I'm an
international
uncultured
games.
swine at this point.
That's okay. That's all right. All right. Kicking off the Sunday day games, 1:00. Miami at Atlanta. We don't think about this. We just circle Atlanta. Whenever I see Miami, I pick the other team.
Yep.
Same with this game. And this one actually it should be closer, but what I saw from Cincy that they can score. What I saw from New York, they can't score. Also, Justin Fields
benched,
but Tyrod's hurt, so they might actually have to go back to Justin Fields.
Could you imagine? Justin Fields, we're benching you. We're starting Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor's hurt?
We got to go back to Justin Fields.
Justin, what are you doing this Sunday?
So I heard that they were like, what about this guy? And they were talking about the third string. I went to look at their depth chart. They don't even carry a third quarterback. So they're going to be pulling a guy from practice squad, possibly. This is ugly. Look give me Joey Bag of Donuts. Yep. Cleveland at New England.
Yeah, that's an easy one. We're circling New England.
Are we now?
Yeah.
This is something where I go with the home team because honestly, I would pick Cleveland at home because their defense has been great this year. But you got to go with the hot team right now, the New England Patriots. Who would have thought? All right, Giants at Philly.
This is a
divisional game. Philly coming off a win. Giants coming off a heartbreaker. Home game, I want to take fucking New York. You're looking at this, New York with 7.5 points. I might take points as the away team against the spread. But if we're just doing a pick 'em here, I think I almost have to go Philly at home.
Well, I'm gonna flip a coin for this one.
Giants. Yeah, I knew you were going to take them.
I'm taking the Giants.
Look I got 5 home teams in a row now.
Yeah, Philly. I'm taking the Giants on this one. Wait a minute. You said 2 weeks. You said last week, I'm going to take Carolina when they play the Bills. Yeah, fuck you. I'm taking the Bills. That's an easy.
This is a bounce back. Look, I don't bet Bills games. We're taking money line Bills. I promise you, we do not cover this fucking spread, dude. 7.5. Give me Carolina plus 7.5. I'm writing it down next to my card, but I'm taking Bills, obviously. And then we're going to go plus 7.5.
No, I'm taking Bills covering the 7.5.
They're covering. Yeah. Now, realistic, like we need to blow this fucking. We need to blow this fucking team out by 20.
We should win like 42 to fucking 18.
But
100%.
And here's the thing: Carolina can't score. Like they've won these. They're 3-0. Last week they played the fucking Jets and it was like they only
13 to 6 or something.
You're not winning games with 13 points ever. You're lucky you ran into the worst team in football. So the Bills can put the points up despite how bad our defense is. Carolina's offense isn't that great. Look at stop Rico, we win the game easy. Chicago at Baltimore. Now again,
injury news you didn't touch on. Lamar's back at practice.
I only touch on new injuries. Let me just state that.
Well, it's not a new injury, but it's a new report.
I know it's not a new injury. I only touch new injuries. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't cover the Bucky because he's been hurt. I don't cover.
He's still out. But
Ricky Pearsall because he's been hurt. Like so, I'm talking about brand new injuries. To your point, Lamar. I don't know if it's confirmed yet. If he plays, give me Baltimore. And I think he will play, and I think he's going to force himself to play, even if he's not 100%. Yeah. They're tired of losing games, dude. Baltimore minus 6.5 against the Bears. Both lock and lock. Give me Baltimore.
Yep.
Chicago has been competitive, though, this year. I will say that.
They're not bad. That whole division's got a winning record, which is crazy.
This is a game I'm going to pick wrong. I'm taking San Fran at Houston. I'm giving me the 49ers on the road. This would be the game I get wrong because there's no way in hell Houston should win this. Nico Collins will probably not play either, and it'll fuck me even more in fantasy. And they have nobody. They look terrible. They're going to go home after they got embarrassed, and they're going to win this game. But I'm going to take San Fran, the better team.
And I'm going Tampa Bay in the next game because
Tampa Bay and New Orleans
is dog shit.
But here's the thing. I saw somebody say New Orleans is the most competitive, worst team in the league. They have kept up with the Bills. They kept up last week with...
That's true.
Who did they play last week? The
injuries is what concerns me with Tampa
Okay.
Bay and why I don't want to take why I wouldn't take Tampa Bay, but I'm taking Tampa Bay because of Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield.
oh, got one win. Look at this. 26-14, 12
Yep.
points. You're in it. You're not terrible. 25-19. You're still
One
in
score.
it. They won. The Bills, this was closer until the very last
12
game
points,
of the game.
Two scores.
This is the blowout. Look how close this game
5
is. 5 points,
points,
7
7
points. So they're the worst competitive team in the
so
most
3 out of
competitive
their
worst
5
team.
losses are 1 score games. So yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
And they're home, Jeff.
And they're home.
But Tampa's injured.
Tampa super. That's why I said Tampa.
Could this be a game? Like, look at the spread.
Go ahead, take New Orleans.
No,
then.
4.5.
Yeah,
It's because they're home, but
Take New Orleans. Come on. What's the record on our pick'ems, by the way?
we'll show that after this.
Okay.
I'm going Tampa.
Oh, okay. That's what
I picked too many home teams. Dallas, Dallas at Denver.
Ooh, this could be this could be the game of the week.
This could be game of the week. Look at the fucking over under at 50 right now. That's wild, dude.
Denver minus 3.5.
I'm taking the under on that game. There ain't no way Denver gives up fucking. They'd have to give up more than 25 points.
They give up 32 to the Giants, who have
But
Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo.
I don't think they're going to do that again. That's my point. But CeeDee's healthy.
Yeah, the Giants look good when they got CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens on
I think they
offense.
correct their defensive
Javonte
struggles.
Williams
So
looks absolutely fantastic as well.
yeah, God, this is a tough game to pick. I'm going to take Denver at home.
Yeah, I want to take Denver. I took Denver last week, and I took the Giants last week, and then
What's Dallas's away record?
I don't know. They're 3-3-1, so the one tie is at home.
Yeah, that was the Green Bay game.
So they might be 0-2 on the road.
Okay, here we go.
At
Loss.
Philadelphia.
Wow. Loss on the road, win on the road, loss on the road, loss on the road. So they're 1-3 on the road.
Okay.
They're 1-3 on the road. Yeah,
And they'll be the
getting-
Jets. Yeah, I'm
give me
thinking Denver at this point. Yeah, you're right. Now that you mentioned their one win on the road is against the fucking Jets, and they lost to the Panthers on the
good.
road.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, after they tied 40-40 with the Packers, they should not. Anyways,
Tennessee at Indy, divisional game.
Indy.
Are we going with the best team in football right now? Sure
Indy,
are.
yeah.
Indy. Till they start losing. All right, and then the Sunday night game.
This would be a good game.
This is my game of the week, actually.
This would be a good one.
I got your. Who would you say game of the week was before? Denver, Dallas. That's my second favorite. This is my
No,
favorite.
I thought I saw.
They said Denver, Dallas. Yeah, I said 50 points.
Yeah, I
you're
did. Yeah, I did.
Give me Aaron Rodgers' revenge game. Well, not revenge, but you know what I mean. Kind of going against his old team. Fuck, dude. Give me Pittsburgh at home, dude. God, I picked so many home teams this week.
I'm taking Pittsburgh. No, I'm going to take Green Bay in this one. If
It's a better team. They're the better team.
If Pittsburgh was in Green Bay, I'm taking Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
In Green Bay.
To show
So you're
up his
going
old
the reverse
team.
on this one.
I'm going reverse on this one. I think Green Bay. If this game were in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers going back to Lambeau.
I like that
Lambeau
argument.
Field. I think Pittsburgh absolutely wins that game. But Pittsburgh just lost to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's not as good as Green Bay.
On the road, they're going home, they're rebounding, and he's going against his old team. Aaron Rodgers had 4 touchdowns in that game, bro. Like I'm going to ride the narrative. I'm just riding the narrative on this one. I think Green Bay should. Realistically, I'm going to pick against you because I really think Green Bay should win this game.
The better narrative is Green Bay at home.
I get
and
it.
Pittsburgh going there and Aaron Rodgers going back.
That is the better narrative.
That's the better narrative.
That is the better narrative.
I'm taking Green Bay just because they're on the
win.
road.
I go bounce back win. And Green Bay, we all fucking thought were Super Bowl contenders this year. They're probably just going to make playoffs and lose. And easy game. I don't know why it's got to be Monday night, especially now there's no Jaden.
It should have been a good game, but no Jaden Daniels. Injuries kind of fucked that game.
Fucking Kansas City, dude. Just climbing back up is what they do.
4-3. They were 1-3, and now they're 4-3. It's like, come on. Are you fucking kidding?
Unbelievable. Detroit, Vegas, Rams, Cards, Seahawks, and Jacksonville all on a bye week this week. Jacksonville.
Armageddon for fantasy players.
Jacksonville well deserved because back-to-back weeks in
Just
London,
one.
was it?
Just
Or
one.
just one? Okay. Yeah, whatever.
And then we got our Thursday night prop bets.
Oh, yeah.
For
What am I
tomorrow.
doing here, guys?
We are
Well, hold on.
10-2 on the
Hold on
season.
one
I
second,
think.
guys. Let me get the screen going here.
Okay, I know,
Pick'ems,
but I think we're 10-2 on the season. You don't have the records for our pick'ems though.
Down here.
No, you don't. You
I
don't
do.
have our pick'ems.
Yeah, I do.
Where?
Right here. I don't have records for him because it's just we're going off of a point system. Yeah,
but it's okay.
6-1.
So we're 12-2.
Yeah, 12-2.
Okay,
12-2 on the pick'ems. So last week I had my best week, 12-3 as far as their pick'ems. Got my bonus bet. Jeff went 10-5, got his bonus bet. I had Jamar anytime. He had Jamar over 73.5. That brings us on the total. I caught back up here. I'm a game behind Jeff, 63-48 with the 6 pick'ems. He's 64-47 with his 6 pick'ems. He can't get one wrong. I can't get one wrong on those fucking. That's crazy, dude. We're neck and neck, dude. We know football, guys. We know football.
And if you are betting, this is for entertainment.
This is. Please don't follow us. Please don't put real money down. Last week I should have put real money down, and I didn't.
And you didn't. You would have won money.
I did not put real money down. But this week we're gonna go with. I didn't even write it down. I'm gonna go with Justin Jefferson over 80.5 receiving yards. Like I said, let me go back here real quick. They are playing the Chargers at home. I think this is going to be a game that's going to be a little bit more pass heavy. I looked at both defenses. They're identical. Yeah. Their pass defense, their rush defense, their points per game. Both defenses are kind of all middle to a little bit above middle of the pack. The only difference is Chargers offense is way better. Now, I do believe the Chargers will win this game, but I think Minnesota will have to play catch up. So give me Jamar. Get the 80 yards. Give me Justin Jefferson. He'll get the 80 in the first half.
Yeah, so I wanted to pick Jordan Mason, but there's no bet on Jordan Mason on FanDuel a night before, and that's because Aaron Jones could come back tomorrow.
Let me give you the DraftKings line, because there might be a DraftKings line.
Okay, well, I'm picking what I can actually bet on FanDuel right now, because I'm going to bet it. As soon as we get done with this podcast, I'm pulling up FanDuel. I'm making my bet. I'm going Jordan Addison over 4.5 receptions.
Went from Jordan to Jordan, dude.
What?
You went from Jordan to Jordan.
Oh, Jordan Mason. I was like, you picked
not Michael
Justin
Jordan
Jefferson. I'm like, what do you mean I went Jordan to Jordan? I was like, okay. Anyways, 5.5%. Jordan Addison, not.
Oh wow,
Jordan
yeah,
Mason.
He's not available on here.
Okay, see, so then
that's so weird. But his touchdown props are there.
Really, but his reception,
his rushing isn't there.
No, not on there.
Yeah.
So they know something. It's probably a game time decision at this point.
Dude, Kamani Vidal only 40 plus yards, dude. Seems lockish too.
What is it?
His over under for rushing is only 40.
I'm picking that. I'm scratching
Vidal?
it. Yeah. Kamani Vidal.
I'm just kidding. That's not his. It's 60.
You can't tell me 40.
Yeah, no. Sorry. He's average 40. His line is like 56.
Come on, dude.
Sorry, 48. Oh, wait. Hold on.
I swear to God. You know what? I'm going to pull up fucking FanDuel, which is
56.5. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Let me get up FanDuel,
guys, 5.5%, guys.
Which is the better one to bet on.
5.5. It's 5.5%. It was 56.5, Jeff. Sorry.
Let me see what FanDuel is at.
I promise you it's 56.5.
You know what? I was thinking about this while you were talking. I was like, we both have Minnesota players, like, for our prop bets, but we both have
Minnesota receivers.
Yes, but we also both picked the Chargers to win. So
it's probably not smart.
Probably not smart. Let me look at what.
Take your Gadsden because you snaked him from me in fantasy, dude.
Who?
Gadsden, the tight end for the Chargers. I wanted him, dude. I wanted him. I was going to play him this week too.
Yeah, Kamani Vidal is 56.5. You know what? Let me look up a Gadsden.
There's
receiving
the Gadsden receiving's got to be fucking like 30. I gotta guess. I'm gonna guess on that.
Let's see. 42.5 for Gadsden. Okay. Gadsden. Player total reception. Gadsden. I'm taking Gadsden over 3.5. I got to take a Chargers player at this point.
3.5 receptions?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lock.
Yeah.
That's lockish. I like it. Awesome. All right, guys.
Long one.
Hour and 32 minutes, give or take. Was a good one this time. Kind of off the cuff here. Like I said, Bills coming off the bye. We got to bounce back, boys and girls. This needs to be a win for us. Mm-hmm. We got to stay competitive in the division. We can't. New England's winning this week, so you don't want to fall 2 games behind them. Mm-hmm. It's a must win for the Bills, and then next week they have the Chiefs. So the schedule does get tougher. We eventually have to play the Eagles as well. Again, all home games. That'll be great. But
and the Bengals.
And the Bengals, who I'm not too scared of. Like, great, they found something with Joe Flacco. Without Joe Burrow, as a Bills fan, I'm not scared of them, but they're a good team still. Now they got a passing game reestablished. Must-win game. Bills don't cover. You say they cover. We'll see what happens.
I hope everybody enjoyed my bald head this week.
Oh, yeah. Jeff doesn't have hair anymore.
Yeah, I shaved my head to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? For this weekend. This past weekend's Halloween party, and I'll continue that until Halloween as I do Stone Cold Steve Austin again. So we'll see.
All right, guys. With that being said, I'm Mikey D.
I'm Jeff.
We out.
Go Bills.